Zooming.
Yes, Lord. Yeah, we were Zooming before we knew what Zoom was. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce Renee W.
All right. Hey everybody, my name is Renee and I am an addict. And it's hot up in here. When you get a certain age, heat means something. So I am so nervous. I just need to say that right now. I am so nervous.
We love you.
I just need to say that. I am so nervous.
Woo! I love you, Renee.
Okay, I love you too. All right, I already said my name. I know I'm an addict. My clean date is March the 3rd, 1988, and for that I'm truly grateful. I am so excited that you would trust me enough to stand behind this podium, and I thank God for the opportunity to be of service once again in my recovery. You know, this topic that y'all gave me, I think it's something about cultivating a moral character. I said, where they get this shit from? I couldn't find that particular thing, but what I realized as I was preparing to come that this is really a 3, 7, and 11 step subject. And one of the things I want to read, 3 things. I'm going to read something from the 3rd step, then I'm going to read something from the 7th, and then I'm going to read something from the 11th. Thank you, baby. Step 3 says, the decision that we make by working this step and the relationship that results will revolutionize our existence. This decision is easier to make than to live by. We can easily lapse into old behavior. It takes determination, time, and courage to change because we're not perfect. We simply continue to reaffirm our decision on a regular basis and then do the very best we can and live by it. Complete and unconditional surrender of our will and our lives is an ideal we strive to fulfill. Although we don't become perfect, we do make a profound change by working this step. We are making a serious effort to live differently than we have in the past. From now on, we're going to be practicing this decision, and the way we relate to the world around us can change radically as a result. Step 7. Developing a relationship with God as our understanding goes a long way towards increasing our level of comfort when we ask to have our shortcomings removed. The work we've done in the previous steps, not just step 7, you got to do some work before you get here, has enriched that relationship. We've asked. We didn't ask us. We didn't ask our friend. I didn't ask Leslie. I didn't ask Mimi. I didn't ask anybody else. We asked our higher power for honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And we have been provided with the ability to develop those attributes, cultivating a more character. Those attributes that are so vital. I got it all messed up, huh?
Sorry.
No, that's all right, baby. I'm good. That those attributes that are so vital to our recovery. When I was studying this, I wrote this. I don't even know when I wrote it. It says, this says to me, we can come up short from time to time. It says we could re-experience. What I meant by that was we could re-experience the ability to be mindful of who I am. I might not wake up tomorrow feeling like I feel today. So I might shoot the finger at somebody, right? But I can re-experience what I've learned in the previous steps to be able to bring myself back to this character that I say I want to live by. So some days I'm going to miss the damn mark. I ain't going to get it 100 every day. However, there's a process for that too, right? So step 11 says, it has become second nature to us to ask ourselves what our higher power would have us do in our lives rather than attempting to manipulate situations so they happen according to our ideas what's best. We no longer see God. We no longer see God's will for us as something we have endured. Let me stop right there. When I think about endurance, I think that's like you know the word we trudge. Oh my God, I need to fight this thing. No, we don't. When once we work these previous steps, and we get to the 11th step, we're now more willing to listen than not. Look, there's something that my friend Kim says. I love you, Kim. She said, whenever we do the wrong thing, like we make a decision to do some bad shit, right? I'm automatically saying to God, fuck you. Pretty much. That's really what I'm saying. I'm not just saying it to me. I'm saying it to God, because I told him that I would turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand him in the 3rd step. So when I get to doing some crazy shit, I'm telling God I take that back. I'm telling God, but he's fine, God. I know I need to eat lunch tomorrow, but that dress is like, oh my God. That's my friend. So then it says, on the contrary, we make a conscious effort to align. Alignment means that I'm going to be in line with, I'm going to walk with, I'm going to do this thing, right? Align our will with our higher powers. That's God's will, yeah. Believing that we'll gain more. Okay, so I don't know about you, but when I got here, I didn't know what I was coming here for. Let me say that first. I came here because I was homeless. I wanted somewhere to live. I don't know why I thought Narcotics Anonymous was going to be the place that's going to give me a place to live, but I was homeless, and I told them people that I live with, if I show up, I'm going to go to meetings, I'm going to go to meetings, I'm going to go to meetings. So I came to a meeting, and I was still homeless. I went home, and I said, hey, look here, I went to that meeting. She said, get your shit. It's a wrap. You can't smoke in my house. Her grandmother's house at that. So I didn't come here to get happy. I didn't come here to get no peace of mind. I didn't come here to stop hitting that pipe. I just came because I needed somewhere to live. But once I started getting some information that told me something about myself, and realized that it wasn't being homeless that was the problem. The reason I was homeless is because I kept hitting that damn pipe. It didn't have shit to do with the fact that they didn't like me no more. Matter of fact, she told me, this is her exact words to me when she found my shit in the dirty clothes basket. I said, I can't believe you went through my dirty clothes to find my stem. I mean, what's wrong with you looking through my drawers? I mean, come on now. So she said to me, I watched my brother die of an overdose of cocaine and heroin, and I can't afford to watch you kill yourself too. That's different from just get your ass out. Right. That's why I love you enough to say, hey, I can't watch this. That's what that was, right? So what it says here is, wait a minute, let me go back. We make a conscious effort to align our will with our higher powers, believing that we'll gain more happiness. Right? And peace of mind by doing so. This is what surrender is. A heartfelt belief in our own fallibility as human beings, and an equally heartfelt decision to rely on a power greater than our own. Surrender, the stumbling block. That's that thing that says, girl, you know if you surrender, you look like a punk. Who does that? Surrender to me meant when I got here, that meant I punked out. That means what? I couldn't, look, y'all, I ain't never had a fight in my life, ever. Ever. I got my ass whipped one time. This girl jumped on me in the projects, and I was riding my bike, riding my own business, and she didn't like me, and she walked in and whipped my ass, and I didn't fight back, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So surrender to me meant, I can't let enough, I'm going to let you whip my ass. But I was already getting my ass whipped by my own ass. Have you whipped your own ass? That's what I did. Okay, so the stumbling block of our addiction has become the cornerstone of our recovery. The stumbling block, the thing that kept my ass going, turned on me. It was my best friend when I didn't want to think, I didn't want to believe, I didn't want to remember, I wanted to forget being molested. I didn't want to remember being raped. I didn't want to remember being locked in a dope house for 3 days right here on Yellowstone for 3 fucking days. And when I died, they took me to a hotel on Cullen to leave me there because they didn't want to explain why they got a dead girl in their house. That's who I am. Yeah. The stuff I was using, I went there in my pajamas too. I told my cousin, I said, I'll be right back. I'm just going to get us some, and then I'll be right back. And I went in my pajamas thinking, I'll be right back. And 3 days later, I was dead. And God said no. When I woke up, it was a man on top of me trying to rape a dead woman. I scared the shit out of him, too. I just want y'all to know. He surrendered. He ran his ass up out of there. Right? And then I realized I didn't know where I was. I don't know about you, but that's not the kind of character I wanted to live by. That story haunts me still to this day. When I think about how I put my own ass in jeopardy. It wasn't, nobody did this to me. There were some circumstances that maybe made me think that I needed, that's a lie. I didn't know why I was getting high till I got to y'all. The truth of the matter is, I really thought I was getting high because I wanted to be a part of you.
That's right. There we go.
So let me tell y'all how this all started. Okay, I need to back up. When I was a little girl, my aunt came to me, and I know some of you have heard this story, but it's the way I can let you know that I didn't know how to build character. So my aunt comes to me and she said, guess what, that man that live in your house, that ain't your daddy. And I was like, what? I was like, if back then they didn't have this word, but I probably said something like, girl, bye. Right? And I drove my bike home, all the way home, dropped the bike at the front door, ran in the house, and Mom, I just saw Sue. And she said, Daddy is not my daddy. And from that moment, I do this every time I share this story because it's so important that you understand that from the moment I said Daddy is not my daddy, to the moment my mama's face expression, there was a whole lot of hope right here. That what she's saying ain't true. My mama's face before her words confirmed what she said was true. And when she said yes, your daddy lives in California, I didn't say, oh, wow, I got two daddies. No, that ain't what I said. I didn't say, you know what? This means more birthday gifts, more Christmas gifts. No, I didn't say that. Immediately, everything I thought that I knew was a lie. Then I understood what I didn't understand to that moment, which I don't understand why I didn't understand, but their last name was Evans and my last name was Wright, and it all became clear at that moment. And at that moment, I felt like, okay, well, if I just change my last name, maybe I can be like them and they'll love me. Nobody said, we don't love you. But nobody set my ass down and talked to me about it either. They gave me the information, and that was the end of that shit. So they left this little 6-year-old girl to determine how she gonna embrace this shit in her head. So what I did, instead of thinking something positive, I thought something was wrong with me. So my sister was born. My mom was pregnant at the time, and my sister was born, and she came to this world with green eyes, long hair like Leslie. And, no, she didn't have long hair. She had curly hair. I had nappy hair when I had hair. So she came here with green eyes, and they would turn colors. She was a beautiful baby. And my father, my stepdad, who I'm telling y'all, to the day he died, I loved him. And I know he loved me. And not one day did he ever call me his stepchild. And I only reference him by step so that you know who I'm talking about. Because really, that was my daddy. Yeah. And so my sister gets here, and I see how he's interacting with this baby. And I'm saying to myself, what do I need to do to get that? Yeah, we're talking about building character. We're talking about moral character. And so I became, what I'm trying to get you to see is I became whatever I needed to be in order to have any kind of character. Long as you said, okay, you liked me, whatever my character needed to be for you to like me, that's what I was going to do. Yeah, 1 foot. I was whatever you wanted me to be. I mean, seriously, whatever. I remember my grandfather used to call me Black Gal, and people from Louisiana know what I'm talking about when I talk about color struck. My grandfather was light-skinned, high yellow, and a good-looking man, and here I am. I ain't even that black, but he called me Black Gal. And I automatically assumed that meant I was ugly because I know how he talked about darker-skinned people. So if he calling me Black Gal, and I know how he talk about other people, he got to think I'm ugly too. Wow. And this is a man who I loved. This was my king, my. And so if he thinks I'm ugly, then I must be. So I didn't find out how pretty I was till I got clean.
Okay.
And lately I found out how clean I look with bald head. But there used to be an opportunity where I would never have shown up in public with no hair on my head. I would have had to have it down here or wherever. But so let me get back to this. So I really want you to see that everything that I'm trying to tell you started as a 6-year-old little girl who was trying to fit in really early. I didn't feel like I fit in at home. It was during the time of segregation. I'm 62. I'll be 62 in November. And so it was time that we were bused. Yeah, I know, right? So there was a time that we were bused off to different schools. I was sent to a white school, and they wanted to know about how dirty I was and if my hair felt like coil, and I was a nigger, and I was all these things. So I don't fit in at home with my mom and them. I don't fit in at school with the white people. And then they shipped me off to an all-black junior high school, and I don't fit in there because now I'm talking proper, and y'all think I'm cute. And so now, you know. And I'm trying to fit in. Not only is that a different, but what started before that happened is I got molested by this girl down the street from my grandmother's house, and I didn't understand what she was doing to me. And she said, let me show you how girls supposed to be with girls and boys supposed to be with boys. And so she molested me. And I thought I had allowed her to do something, right? And so my grandmother is one of those people that always said, ladies don't do that. Cross your legs. Ladies don't do that. And if I got some new tennis shoes, I walk down the street looking at my shoes. She said, stop looking at your feet. Everybody don't need to know they knew. And, you know. So when I went to my grandmother and I said, Granny, is it true that girls supposed to be with girls? I don't even know why I asked. But something in my spirit said this ain't right. As a kid.
Yeah, you intuitive.
Look, and let me say this. It ain't right for me. I ain't talking about you.
Yeah.
If that's who you are, do you. But at 8 years old, I ain't know what was supposed to be right. So my grandmother said, well, I'm sure she asked me where I got that from. But I don't know what I said. However, whatever it was, she loved me enough to get past the answer to share with me what she thought. And because I respected her so much, I automatically took that on as I did something really, really bad. I'm this dirty, nasty little girl. But I mean, oh shit. So I'm this dirty, nasty little girl, right? And so I grow up into this dirty, nasty adult who is seeking whatever she can find to feel better. And so I was introduced to cocaine by my aunt. The plate came around, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. And so when the plate got to me, I didn't ask, is this going to hurt me? I didn't ask, is this something that I might not want to do? I didn't ask, how bad is what is this? Is it legal? I didn't ask none of that. The plate got to me, and I was like, and then they said to me, whatever you do, don't freebase. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what is that? You just don't do it. Do you freebase? You know how to freebase? You know how to freebase? I started looking for people. And I found him. And him taught me how to, yeah. And so I found out real quick why they told us not to freebase. I was addicted immediately. Yeah. And so right after that, y'all, I got really sick. I had cancer cells of the uterus, and they took all my female organs. I could not have children. And so I knew then that I was not worth the ground I walked on. And so my disease got worse and worse because all I wanted to do was die. I went in the hospital 8 times in a year and a half, and every time I went on that table, I was under the influence of cocaine. And it's only by God's grace that I did not die. And so I went on life using. I thought I would move to California with this daddy. I ain't never know this father, this biological man. And I get to California and I'm doing dope, and he put me out. I wasn't there 24 hours and I was doing what we do. And he put me out, and I found somewhere to live, and I was homeless twice. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. So thank you, God. And so I met this girl on this job that I got. I was good at getting jobs. I just couldn't keep them. But I got this job, and I met this girl. She looked like a dope fiend. And I asked her, do you get high? Okay. And she said, no. And I thought, well, I wouldn't tell nobody either. We at work. So about 2 weeks later, she came to me and she said, yeah, you remember when you asked me, did I get high? And I said, yeah. And she said, well, I go to these meetings, and I think they can help you. I'd like to take you. And I was like, girl, I don't need all that. You keep going to your meetings. So I need to tell you, the last day I got high, I was almost going to jail, went to the dope house, got my dope in my suit, and told the guy I'm kind of get this for somebody else. And so I got it, and I went on and came back. You know, we can't buy enough. We got to do an excursion. I did several trips. And that last trip, the cops followed me, and I thought I was going to jail. And when I got to the light, I said, God, please help me. And when I looked over at them, I raised my hands up like, what's up? And they said, they didn't say nothing. They looked at me, I looked at them, they drove left, and I kept straight. Now, I would love to tell you that I didn't go home and smoke that dope, but I did. I couldn't throw that away, but I couldn't get high. No matter what I did, I couldn't get high. I thought the man sold me some bad dope. I was so mad. Could not get high. So, the next day I called Loretta, because now I'm homeless, because my roommate then came in and told me to get my ass and get my stuff and get out. So I called this girl, that same girl that wanted to take me to meetings. And on March the 3rd, 1988, she took me to my first meeting, or met me there. Wow. And I was sitting by the window, and she came in and tapped me on my shoulder, and she said, we don't sit on death row. Come up to the front. Wow. And I know y'all thinking, well, what does this got to do with character? Well, I didn't have no character, but I had enough sense to know that if she said move, move, because I was already homeless. How about that? And so what they did was they gave me a book, and they told me to get a sponsor. And I started working some steps, even though I didn't believe I needed to work some steps. But God did for me what I couldn't do for myself. And He showed me how doing what y'all did, that He could do for me what I couldn't do for myself. Because I didn't believe that I needed it. As a matter of fact, when we got to step 2, I told my sponsor, you know, this is all good. I hope God do that for y'all, but I don't need that step. And she said, really? I said, yeah, I'm good. I ain't insane. And she said, well, I'll see your ass when you get back, bitch. And I wasn't surprised she called me a bitch, because I had been called a whole bunch of stuff. But she taught me later what bitch meant was I'm beautiful, I'm intelligent, I'm trustworthy, I'm charming, and I'm honest. Oh. Okay. And so I asked her, well, where am I going? And she said, if your ass don't get in touch with your insanity, you going to get high. And you going to die. I'm going to hurry up. So I started working the steps, y'all. I found out I was insane. I was able to give my will and my life over to this God who created a character in me that want to keep going. One day at a time, I got through all the steps. And I found out some things that I am loving. I'm kind. I love people. I want to do for you. I am the person that I always dreamt of being. And in the 11th step, it talks about how we can continue to grow in those areas. We don't just get it and it's done. I have to keep working at it. And every day I get better and better. Last year I was diagnosed with bone cancer. That's why I'm bald-headed. I was diagnosed with bone cancer, and I've been going through that. And God has given me a me that I did not see coming. And I've met a lot of people as a result of the pandemic. And I've been able to learn some things about myself, that I don't need a whole lot of hair down to my ass like I always thought I did. I'm going to always look cute no matter what, because that's just who I am. And so I just know that because of the steps and because of what was taught to me through this process, that I am building good moral character. Notice I said I am building, because I haven't arrived yet. I'm still trying to figure out who I am. One thing I know for sure, though, I am a beautiful woman. And I'm going to say this and shut up. I was thinking about something. When I got my divorce, I was married 17 years in this fellowship. And when I got my divorce, I was on the sofa in a fetal position wanting to die. And I remember telling God, God, if you're through with me, please, I'm ready to go. And what I've realized that since then, that the person who was on that couch in a fetal position is not who's standing up in front of you today. I haven't had a relationship in 7 years, and I'm okay with that. I know that God is bringing what's for me, and what's for me is for me. And I don't want nothing else. So if you knew and you wonder, what is she talking about? Don't worry about it. Because I ain't hear shit either. Just keep coming back. Because the bottom line is you're not going to get it all in one meeting anyway. And so what you need to get is that you shouldn't use, don't drink, don't use, and don't do nothing. Share about everything until you find you in these books. Thank you for allowing me to share.